Here comes Kugel, the Kraft Peanutty surprise.
This is Kugel peanut spread from Kraft. It not only tastes like peanuts, it comes in flavors. And chocolate, vanilla, banana, and cinnamon. Kugel spread's creamy smooth, too. And it's delicious on bread or crackers or almost anything.
And it doesn't make my mouth stick together.
And it doesn't make my mouth stick together.
You'll love Kugel, the Kraft Peanutty surprise.
Welcome to Lunch Therapy. I'm your host, Joel Marshall. Today is Interview Friday, where we get amazing comedians or philosophers or filmmakers or actors to come on the show and talk to us about their lives, their experience, how they keep their creative flow, and anything else they want to talk about. This show happens every Friday. It's been going on for about 4 years now. And there's also a Tuesday show, which is I bring comedians on and we do a variety show as well. So welcome to Lunch Therapy. If you've never been here before, please like and subscribe because it keeps things going. At the beginning of the show, every show, we take in 3 deep breaths. And so we're going to do that. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. One more time. Let it go. I see Chuck Goldsmith is here. Welcome, Chuck, to the show. You're going to love this guy if you haven't seen him before. It's going to be great. So here we go. This is called Lunch Therapy. I'm going to get myself a modem. 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 Yeah. All right. So here we are in the studios of Lunch Therapy. We're going to have the guest come on. Currently, he's in the green room. Currently, he's upside down. I think.
Why am I upside down? What happened?
I don't know, but I see him there in the green room.
Dude, what
Good thing we took those deep breaths because it could be like an upside down show. Yeah.
How do I not do that? What happened?
I don't know. Maybe turn your phone the other way. I don't know. I think
don't know. That's so weird.
This is gonna be super fun today because he's in the car. He's on the road. We only have him for 30 to 40 minutes here, so we're gonna get into this interview pretty quickly. But I want to tell you a little bit about him before we get going.
Oh, that's better.
Oh, good. Now you're right side up. Thanks, Boney helped him out with that. Applause for my assistant, Boney. He's out in there in the car with him. Drove all the way to where Darren is, helped him out with this technology. So Darren Carter, the party starter, I recently met him briefly because I had gone to a show at the Ice House in Pasadena, which is a long-standing, one of the oldest comedy clubs, if not the oldest comedy club in America. And I went to see Gayla Johnson in the Jimmy Shindig show. And there was this guy at the table setting up. I'm like, I've seen that comedian before. He was setting up his merch table. And I walked by and I came into the show. Paul Rodriguez was in the show. He totally killed. He was hilarious. Gayla Johnson, longtime friend of mine, just was hilarious. And then to our surprise at the end, because Tom Arnold couldn't make it, and Darren Carter happened to be doing a show in another one of the rooms, or maybe in the same room earlier, he came on the stage and just, I mean, he is the party starter, and that is not like a made up thing. It's not even just a gimmick. He is like, it became a party in there. And he has various techniques and things that he does, that some of which you will see on the show. And then also just has some hilarious, just observational comedy, life comedy. So he's like the whole package. And he's been seen, of course, at all, Laugh Factory, Hollywood Improv, Comedy and Magic Club. Notably, he rocked the stage in front of 20,000 fans at LA's prestigious Power 106 Comedy Jam. I want to hear about that. And the other amazing thing is he does this Snoop Dogg impression. And Snoop Dogg even discovered this impression, seeing him on TV, and has had him come. Is this right? He's had him come do performances at his family reunion. That's super cool. Plus, also, Darren has made appearances on networks like Comedy Central, BET, NBC, E! Entertainment. His voice is in Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. And you've seen him on Chelsea Lately and also on the Jay Leno Tonight Show. So let's get into this thing. Let's get into this interview. Interview Friday with Darren Carter, the party starter.
Thank you so much. Whoa, that was loud. Nice. Hi, guys. I'm Darren Carter, the party starter. Are you ready to start this party? Let's do it. Some of you are more ready than others.
There he is, Darren Carter. That phone is moving all over the place. It's great. I love it. It's like a ride.
Here we are. I know, right?
Whoa!
So I'm
Welcome. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks. What a great intro. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Oh, you deserve it. You deserve it. Kamala Lopez is here. Hoy, she says. That's the way we say hi around here. Hoy. Hoy, Darren Carter. Did you get it like propped up or?
Yeah, I have a tripod, but then it keeps falling off my steering wheel. And I'm like, well, maybe I don't know why. Anyways.
Where are you? Are you out on the road or what's going on?
I'm on the road and I'm trying to do a few errands, and I was like, well, I want to do it at noon with you,
Yeah.
Anyways.
I'm just glad to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I like how you start the show. You said into the nose, out to the toes. It really sets the tone.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I started doing this thing when the pandemic hit because I couldn't go out and perform. And so I was kind of nervous about going live on YouTube and so I was just trying to calm myself down. But anyway, it's become...
I got a question real quick before we start. That commercial you played, that was, I guess, was that to play, was that to replace peanut butter? I never even heard of that product.
You never heard of Kugel before? I mean, it was a classic peanut butter, peanut butter, enhanced peanut butter. Let's just call it enhanced peanut butter.
Yeah.
There were different flavors that go with the peanut butter. I think, maybe even pre-Reese's peanut butter cup. I don't know. No, maybe that's been around forever. Wow. But yeah, you got all, and it seems logical, right? Like, why wouldn't there?
I grew up in California. I wonder did it make it out to California? Is it like an East Coast thing or a Midwest thing? Or
I would have to think. I'm from Seattle, so I would have to think it was in LA. When I was growing up in Seattle, everybody would be like, whenever you went to the store to like try on some clothes, they'd be like, everyone's wearing this in Los Angeles. So we were just trying to keep up with Los Angeles, Well,
I think that's how things were back then. I grew up in Fresno.
Yeah.
And the same thing with us. Like, my friend moved from Fresno to Long Beach, and he quickly found out that LA would get the music first before the rest of the country would get it. Like, he would even send he even said that, and it sounds like a joke, but it's true. Our news was usually like a day late. Like
That's true.
Like, you remember that? It would be like, because our
Yeah.
local newspaper was the Fresno Bee, and it would say like Fresno, and be an article, but then it would say from the LA Times. So like,
Yes.
like they would get the paper, and then we would get it like a day later. Like,
That's so true. That's what, and I think that's why they would tell us that, because they were testing it out in Los Angeles first to see if it was cool enough for Fresno.
Yeah.
They were trying to see,
Right.
is it cool enough yet? But yeah, movies would be released like in New York and LA, and we just kind of hear about it. And then they give it a chance to get reviewed, get the buzz, and then it would maybe come to your town if you were lucky, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed that with accents also. Like, I feel like back in the 70s and 80s when we travel, you know, with my family, we you know, truck, trailer, camper, we'd go out, you know, and you'd hear very distinct accents. And I don't know if it's the internet and cable and all, and everything is, you know, I feel like there's not as much distinct accents around the country like there used to be.
Yeah, we're like all homogenized into one conglomerate. That's maybe why the British people are so good at doing American accents now, because they grew up watching all this American stuff, you know, because they're so good at it. It's like amazing. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, I didn't know that person was British. I didn't know that person was Australian or whatever.
Like you'll see an actor, you had no idea. You're like, what? You know?
What? So, Darren, you've got such a unique style, and it's just so much fun. I mean, one of the things that was cool about when you came on stage, you're like, let's get this party started. And we're like, who is this guy? You know, and remember, but then you get the party started, and there's a point where you're kind of like, isn't it fun to laugh? Like you said that on stage, and that was so cool because it was true. It was just so much. We were just having so much fun with you, just being goofy up there.
Yeah,
you got your flashlight. You're beatboxing. Can you tell me a little bit about how you evolved into this performer that you are today?
Thank you. You know, it was all little pieces of things I knew how to do, you know, almost like a natural athlete. Mm-hmm. You know, like a natural athlete could run really fast, but then you got to put it together to actually be successful at a sport. Yeah. And I think same thing with comedy. Like I knew how to beatbox back in the day, although I've gotten better at it.
Yeah,
I got really better at it.
It's amazing what you do with the room, because it feels like we're in a disco. I mean, not a disco. I don't know what we are. House music. No. We're in some kind of club.
It definitely. Whoa, shit! Whoa. I forgot that I'm pressing down on the tripod, but I also hit the horn.
This is great. Maybe you could drive too. It'd be great if you could drive.
I don't know what. So okay. I usually put the phone in the tripod and I don't know why it's not sticking to the. Oh, wait, maybe that's it. That might work. Maybe not. Anyways,
it's okay. You're not the first car guest that we've had on the show, and we've had a lot of really good success. We had Lynn's son on here, and her kid was in the back seat of the car. You know,
that's cool.
Trouble. It was super fun. Yeah. So I love car
some
interviews.
of those too. My son, he's 16 now, but I remember like during the pandemic, we'd run around. He was like 13 in the back seat, and he brought his guitar, and I did a podcast, and he played his guitar in the back seat, and
that's so cool. You and Austin is his name, right?
Yeah, Austin. He goes, and online, you guys can find him. He goes by the name Oz the Bass Boss. It's Oz the Bass Boss. Yeah.
He's like a chip off the old block. Is he doing comedy as well?
He does music, but his musical is pretty comedy. Like he does, you know, like he just put up a video yesterday, and they let them do a talent show or whatever. They let them perform in the library like the last week of school. Yeah. So him and his buddies, they play heavy metal, and they did something in the library. So it was really cool because he did like a little comedy misdirection where he tells everybody, all right, this next song, grab your teddy bear. We're going to do a lullaby. Yeah. It's Metallica's Creeping Down. Yeah. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
He did that. And on Halloween, I took him around. He dressed like Elvis, and we we go, you really can't trick or treat, but he brought it. You know, he dressed up like Elvis, stayed in character, had his guitar, and we walked around. And took requests, and this guy was he had a model train in front of his house, like an active model train that's up year round, and so as the train was going by, you heard the, and it was funny because my son Austin didn't see the train. He just heard and he was using it as a metronome.
Cool.
And the guy came out and he was, he had like I don't know what he was drinking. He was drinking something and he goes, "Hey Elvis, you might have to do a little Johnny Cash," And so then my son Austin just went right into Johnny Cash, and the guy was like, "Whoa," because he wasn't just like pretending to, with the guitar. He actually could play it. He's like, "I'll hear that train coming."
That's awesome. Is that available on his channel? Is that?
Oh yeah, go check it out. So after that, his wife came out, and we're taking requests, and luckily, I kind of set it up. I go, "Hey, do you guys like Metallica?" And she goes, "I love Metallica," and Austin did like a Metallica medley. So we have Elvis singing Metallica. Look at his channel. Look up Aus the Bass Boss. It's spelled AUS the Bass Boss, BASS. Aus the Bass Boss.
Bass Boss.
And you'll see.
I found his YouTube.
Boss. Hello, everyone. Oh, you found it? Yeah.
Yeah. Is it?
Oh yeah, cool. You could do this.
Yeah. So let me do something here.
Yeah, look up the Elvis one. It's
Boney, can you cue this up? Yeah. Oh yeah, he's gonna cue it up.
Aus the Bass Boss.
Aus the Bass Boss. Yeah. There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
And on Instagram it has like 800,000 views or something crazy on it.
Oh, yeah, really?
That's YouTube right there. Aus the Bass Boss.
I wonder which one it is, but if not, we'll play it on Tuesday's show, which would be really great.
Look up the shorts category. See on YouTube, there's shorts.
Yep.
It says videos at the top where it says home video.
I see all the shorts here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is. I see the Elvis.
Which one is it? Oh.
About the fourth
this one.
video
Elvis sings Metallica shorts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here we go.
Totally dressed up like Elvis.
Darkness imprisoning me. All I see, absolute horror. I cannot live. I cannot die. Grab myself, body my holding cell.
My God.
What am I? Hell's taking my side, taking my speech, taking my hearing, taking my arms, taking my legs, taking my soul, living my life in hell.
Is that the place with the train? Ah.
Yeah, that guy filmed it. I didn't even film it. I was just enjoying the night, and then luckily I gave that guy a sticker.
Yeah.
And he found me on Instagram, and he goes, "That was really fun." I said, "Oh, thank you. If you get a chance, could you film it? Send me the copy." Oh, there you go. There's the sticker.
Yeah. Woo, yeah. You're really good with this stuff too, like the merch and the advertising.
Yeah, I realize like people, they might see a lot of shows, a lot of comedians, and then they forget who they saw. What was that guy's name? Was it,
Yeah.
And so the best thing is just put it in their hand. And, if they want, they can look you up later. If they want to throw it away, whatever. But at least you're giving yourself a shot,
Yeah.
Because, I was listening to this interview with this Italian comedian named is Pat Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's from like the 60s and the 70s, 80s. I mean, he did Howard Stern and stuff, but I heard this interview with him, and he said that it was probably the 60s. I'm assuming he put out a comedy album, and he had 1,000 records, and the way that he marketed himself is he went to the phone book. I believe it was in Philadelphia, and he looked up for every Italian last name and just mailed them a copy. And so he got 1,000 copies out there. And then what happens is people knew about him, and then they would share the records, and then it got into record stores, and people were familiar with his name. And he said that, and I love this, he said, they have to know you exist. They have to know you exist, So that's why when I do a show, I always try to give someone a little, I call them souvenirs. And if there's any comedians or entertainers watching, here's something I found. If it's a sticker, 9 times out of 10, they'll reach for it. They want it.
Yeah.
But if it's a business card, they don't want it. So
yeah, that's true. Like when I picked it up, I was like, "Oh, this is a sticker." And I like to put stickers on my acting, like where I put my scripts. I like to put stickers, especially of people I know, on there. And so this was perfect. And you were like, "You can have that." And I was like, "I can?" And then you just feel like, "Wow, this is great."
Yeah.
And
thank you.
Yeah.
And I try to, hopefully if it's like a good show and they, it's, especially my comedy, I feel like it's like feel good, fun. I want it to be like a happy memory. So when they see it, they're like, oh yeah, that's, that was a silly, fun, good time,
Yeah. And that's the thing is also, it seems like I don't know, are there more comedians now than there used to be when you started?
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. And they're also more visible too. They're also more visible because we see them all day.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I started a long time ago. I started in 88, 89, like right out of high school.
Yeah.
And I remember some of the comedians back in the early 90s were like, there's so many comedians now. And I was like, really? And then there's even more comedians now, 30 years later. So, or people that call themselves comedians, or people that, like you said, they're more visible because there's,
they're more visible because you can, and also it used to be, I mean, I think maybe just even if before the pandemic, I was like, oh, I don't want to put my material on the web because then people won't come to see me. But that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like the more stuff you put out there, the more visible you are, and people are like, I like this,
I'll tell you, I saw a comedian who's really popular online. He puts up clips like almost daily. Yeah. And they're funny. They usually have a bite to them, like a little bit of a racial edge, He's a white guy, and so they tend to share it because it's funny, It's like he does it where it's funny, Yeah. And I noticed like I saw him perform maybe 2 months ago, and I want to say like 95% of the material he did on stage, he'd already uploaded. I watch him really closely because we're friends, and plus I like learning from people that are successful. Yeah, I'm like, like right when he gets the big punchline, they laugh, and then the video ends. Yeah, like as opposed to me, I used to, you know what I mean. You can't help it. Like I get the laugh, and I let the video play until the very last. Too.
Right? Yeah.
And I think it's better to like have the big laugh,
hit it at the peak, and then cut,
and then. Like 2 seconds and follow, share, and then move on, And so anyways, I would study him, like, like how, like not just him, but like different. Anyways, my point is, even though he put it all out there online, he pretty much did the same set that night on stage. And guess what? It still did great because not everybody's watching every single thing you do,
Yeah, we think in our own minds that like, oh, I'll put it out there and everybody will see it. No, you'll be lucky if everybody sees it.
Right.
That's called famous.
I can't believe 8 billion people see me, man. Gosh, I got to write a new bit now. Yeah.
I want to play another thing because we had a request here. I love Darren's beatboxing. I hope he can do a little bit for us today. I don't know if he can do it because he doesn't have a microphone here, and it might be a disaster. But I can play something.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
All right, let's do it. Let me see here. Here it is. Boney, could you cue that up? Thanks.
I like my women like I like my
Awesome Hawaiian shirt.
Awesome Hawaiian shirt. In need of a lay. I like my women like I like my swim goggles. Wet, tight, and on my face. I like my women like I like my garage doors. My white garage doors. Opening with a touch of a finger.
All right, I love that. Yeah, that's so good.
Oh, that's tight. See what I mean? You just keep it moving,
Yeah, that's right. And also, I've spoken to some comedians that even say like they try out material to see if it really connects with people on the internet before they even do it in at a club, which is really cool. And everybody loves that. I mean, it's so much fun with the flashlight and the whole thing. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like sometimes I'll try out stuff, usually like the written word. I'll put it on like, Twitter or X or whatever, Threads.
Yeah.
For me, that doesn't really work as well. Yeah. But because I have a smaller audience on those things, but but I can kind of just see if it's relatable at all, like if there's anything there. Every now and then I'll do that, But for me, the best place for me is just either on stage or believe it or not, on the phone. Like if I'm on the phone with a friend and we're talking, and then we'll say something that's an idea, or I'm old school like that. I like to verbally talk, especially when I'm exercising or whatever, and that's where I come up with ideas.
Is that how you do it? Like, do you carry around a piece, do you put it in your phone, or where do you put ideas?
Yeah, I do. I have little phone notes in my, I use Evernote on my phone, and I just jot it down in there. And then I have
it's everywhere. Yeah.
A couple notepads by my computer, and but I try to put it on the phone. That way I can put the magnifying glass and search, like, what was that bit I had about wife? And I type in wife, and then all the wife bits come up, or a bit about, I was like, I know I have that joke about table. What was it again? And then I can just type in table, and 3 or 4 jokes will come up, or ideas,
Yeah, I guess you gotta kind of leverage the technology too these days, because it's so much easier than, you see like the old school comedians that have like a whole filing cabinet with little note cards and things like that, and they're like, oh my god, because a lot of comedy is about organizing the thoughts, don't you think?
It really is. It's almost like you're a DJ and you're putting together this set list, this playlist, okay, I gotta, you're right, because a joke can be like okay on its own, but when you match it up with other stories that kind of, it just makes it so much better, and like a friend of mine, I help him out occasionally with jokes and stuff like that, and I didn't help him with this one, but he did this joke, and it was I never liked it, man. It was just cringy to me, He, I'll give him a shout out. He doesn't mind. Shout out to John DeResta.
All right, John DeResta. Yeah.
He's funny, man. Yeah. He worked for the NYPD for 13 years, and then he did a one-man show. And from there, he got a sitcom, and he's been in a bunch of movies, and he's out here in LA. If some of you guys probably know him, John DeResta.
Sure.
But he did this joke about the night Tupac got shot, and this is a joke that was cringy. So he tells the story because he got shot in Vegas, but then he also got shot in New York, I believe in Times Square. And his joke that was cringy to me, he was. He tells he's the first half of the joke is all like facts, like here's where it was at, the bullet went here, went to the scrotum, and then the big punchline that was cringy was he's like, I was there the night Tupac became one Pac. Oh, like it's his testicle. And so people are like leaning forward, like I've seen him do it in Long Beach. I've seen him do it where people are like, oh my gosh, Tupac, like it's believable, and then the final punchline, they're like, like. Sometimes it would get laughs, and sometimes they'd be like, ah.
Yeah.
However, with comedy, and this is what we're talking about, when you you play with it and make it better, he changed it to where he tells his father about the story. And so he makes the father say the punchline. And when he does it that way, it seems to almost always work, and it's not as cringy.
Oh, isn't that interesting? What? See, and you never know that until you try it. Yeah. You wouldn't know.
Where his father's like, what? Tupac became one Pac?
Yeah, right.
There he is.
There he is. What do you know? There he is. Thanks, Boney. Thanks for that. All right. So I'm going to play the Snoop Dogg thing because it's just amazing.
Oh, yeah. Please do.
I love Snoop Dogg. He really is one of my favorite rappers. He's so laid back, you can't help but dig him. He's like, wow, yeah, it's the big Snoop Dogg. Thank you. My friend goes, man, when you do that, I swear to God, I'm not even kidding. Your face, you start to look like Snoop Dogg. I go, man, I'm white. I look like Snoop Dogg's X-ray. You can't help but feel relaxed when you see Snoop. They should put him at the bottom of the television when you're watching the news, right? Just have him pop up after every story. Right? Kind of take the edge off. Today there was an earthquake. Where was cracking point 213. Ooh, way.
It's so amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Can I request a video?
Yeah.
As we're talking.
Yeah.
Look up, it should be on my YouTube channel. Look up Darren Carter, 30 years of beatboxing.
Oh my God, let's do it. I'm excited.
30 years of beatboxing.
Okay. We're calling it up. We're calling it up. Bonnie,
Let's see
can
if
you
we
help
can
me
find
with
it.
this? Yeah, I got my assistant on it. Don't worry.
All right, and we'll talk as they're looking for it. Darren Carter, 30 years of beatboxing.
He found
This
it.
is
He
one-
found it already.
Oh, cool. This is like I love doing this bit. It's so silly.
Okay.
I don't do it that often, but
Here we go. Here we go. All right.
I love that you can show videos during your show.
Isn't it great? I just am so happy.
This is one.
I couldn't do it without my assistant, Boney. He's a plastic skeleton. But here we go. So I'm going to play it.
This is 1 week of beatboxing. Boots and cats. This is 1 year. This is 10 years of beatboxing. This is 20 years. This is 25 years.
Oh, yeah.
This is 30 years. What have I done with my life? I should have learned to play an instrument.
Oh, God, I love that. That's wonderful. That's hilarious.
Thank you. It's so cute. I love doing it because it's like I take myself off.
I don't want to brag, but I like the sweatshirt, so it's pretty.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I said I like acting like I'm all serious 30 years.
Yeah,
and then just dropping down like, what have I done with my life? It's like 30 years of
So great.
beatboxing.
I could have learned the guitar or something that people
Yeah, I
would
should
love.
learn to play the guitar. Yeah, that's better. Maybe I'll say that. That's really good. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you, Joel.
Sure, of
Yeah.
course. We're writing jokes on this show. Camila Lopez wants to take a class, I think, for having to learn how to do it. Do you teach people how to beatbox?
I do. I mean, if they want to know, it's if you can call I think you just got to practice a lot. But if you can like call the cat, like I used to tell people, like if you have a cat and you go kitty 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 kitty, if you can do the cut and the t, then you can do the. So it's just like a yeah. Yeah, you just do some T's and some K's. Like, yeah. And then you do that, it's
I mean, a lot of times you're doing like a couple things with your mouth, like two different things, right? I mean,
yeah, two different things.
Kind of going back and forth. Yeah.
But I was going to tell you what about being, earlier we said like bringing it all together, letting it gel. Because, if you were to like 20 years ago, 25 years ago when I was doing it, I probably didn't do it right because sometimes it would turn off some of the older people where they just would like cover their ears and be like,
really?
But then I got better and I learned how to sprinkle it throughout the set, make it fun, make it work. Because when it didn't work, it was really there's some people still that like, I guess like it turns them off. They're just like they don't like it. It's like
there's gonna be those people.
Yeah, I don't know. They're
You're
just
so great though with the audience because
you.
you really pull them in and you got that flashlight, which is just a freaking great idea to be able to see the people out there, even if the lights are really on you. And also, you really connect with them in a way that a lot of performers don't connect. You really see them, and I love it when you find like another guy, bald guy in the audience, and you're like, that's me, or whatever, and you're doing that. That's hilarious. And also when you said like, I am Jeff Bezos, like you were saying that was remarkable as well. I love it.
Oh yeah, and I got that from the comment section because I put up as soon as one of my videos went viral, people in the comment section were like he looks like is this Bruce Willis's side quest or whatever? Like,
we have a comment from Camila Lopez. She says, "Fuck those people."
All right, Miss Lopez, I like you. They would call me Bruce Willis or Vin Diesel, like those kind of stuff. And then the Jeff Bezos one was overwhelming. It was like, so then the joke we say is Jeff Bezos is rich. I'm Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos, yeah, I love that. I like the crowd is going wild about the Jeff Bezos. I love that too, because also as performers, we have to be like aware of how we're coming across, because a lot of times we see ourselves one way. And like you probably had to make a shift when you lost your hair or shaved your head, because you were going all like, I'm a ginger. And
I used to have like bright red hair and I pull it up and, like, hey, I'm a redhead. That's my thing. And then I never wore a hat on stage. I still haven't really. Yeah. But I was like, cause that'd be part of my jokes. Having red hair, like, and it's funny because being a redhead, especially earlier in my career, it definitely was like a comedy type. You know what I mean? Like as soon as you hit the stage, you're already kind of like different. Yeah. And, I would play like predominantly black rooms or Latino rooms. And as soon as you walk in, you already look different. And then it's like, and if you're funny, it's like, boom, now you're, yeah. And, but yeah, then when I started losing my hair, then it was like, then I was doing some of those kind of jokes. And then
I love how you play well to multiple crowds. Part of also Fresno, how you grew up in Fresno. So you have like a lot of like cultural references from Fresno, which are really hilarious. And your act outs are great, and you're a good actor too. So you go into these act outs, and it really, you can see the whole thing.
I'm going to show you one more bit. I think your audience would love. If you want to look up on my channel, Darren Carter Gangland. Okay. Look up Gangland. That's another one people request, and
this is one.
I'll tell you, I don't usually do it anymore. And one of the reasons is you have to wear a T-shirt to do the joke, because I have to hide underneath the T-shirt. Okay, and lately I've been wearing a lot of shirts with collars. But if you look up Darren Carter Gangland,
is that the one that's on at the Laugh Factory? Yeah.
Yes. That's the one. Yep.
Okay. Let me call it up here.
People tend to like this one a lot, but thank you for that. For the
absolutely. All right, let's check this
out. All those characters came from my growing up in Fresno, and
yeah. All right, I'm gonna play this. I gotta play you out pretty soon because. You got to go, but
it's a great show. It's called Gangland. They do a documentary on different gangs, and Gangland, it's like Facebook for cholos. I love Gangland. It's scary, man. I watch it late at night. This is embarrassing. I've actually been wearing nothing but boxers, throwing punches towards the front door, like imagining if like the dude with the neck tattoo broke into my place. Right? Like, I wish that dude would try to come into my castle. My wife runs in. Darren, what are you doing? Are you playing Wii Fit? Because we don't have that. Every episode of Gangland, they interview some gang member, right? They hide their face with a bandana. They're cloaked under secrecy in the shadows. Gangland, tell us about your gang. The guy's like, ¿Qué onda, Cese? What's up, puto? We're not scared of nothing! We run the streets! You're not facing the camera. I know, bro, I can't see nothing right now, okay? I'm like, I got caught sleeping. I feel stupid. I'm all blindfolding myself. Ride or die! Ride or die! Where do you see your gang going in 10 years? Well, right now, we barely started a MySpace group. But you know what's embarrassing? We forgot our password.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
What else can you tell us about your gang? You know what, bro? Snitches get stitches! But if you're out there and you know our MySpace password, like, let us know, okay? Like, we run the streets! Which one? The one by the mall! Hey, man. Let's wrap it up, bro. It's hard to breathe under this bandana, okay? How do you instill fear into your rival gang? I don't know, bro. I can't breathe, man, all right? When did you found your... You know what, bro? I'm not kidding. Go get me a cookie.
That's hilarious.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
I cut it off a little early because I promised you I'd get you out by 12:40, but we're at 41. So.
Oh, nice.
We'll
do 5 more minutes if it's cool. I can do 5 more minutes.
Great. Yeah, that was hilarious. So
thank you.
What do you find? What have you learned about what are the things that you've learned from all the comedy that you've been doing on stage? What are some of the big points that you have learned that you can pass on to other comedians?
One thing I would pass on is that I've learned is not only do I, you learn by watching good, like really comedians that are really great at what they're doing. I also learned more from like just all artists, like everyone from Frank Sinatra to George Jones, like Kid Rock, with Hank Williams Jr. Like whoever's had a, like a great like career and has a connection with people, you got to ask yourself, like, what is it about them and how can I implement, okay, I'll give you a great example. I heard this, I was in the, do we curse on here? Cause I'm going to,
yeah, you can.
I can leave it. Yeah. Okay. So I remember I was in the shower and I was, I had I don't know if it was Spotify or I had some kind of YouTube playlist on. No, here's what it was. I need to edit this. This too many words. Let me just cut to the chase.
Okay.
All right. So here's what it was. Yeah, I know. I was taking a shower. I was in Dallas at a hotel.
I had my playlist, or was it my wife's playlist? I'm not sure.
Exactly. You're like, dude, just spit it out. How do I become a good comedian?
Maybe it was Pandora. I'm not sure. Anyway,
here's what it was.
Go ahead.
What it was. So I remember watching on Instagram.
Yeah.
A comedian popped up, like a club was promoting a comedian, and I was like, oh, let me check out this comedian. And the comedian was on stage. It was a female comedian, and somebody like she said something about, like looking for a date or I don't know something whatever. And some guy in the audience, because she kind of baited them, and a guy in the audience went like, yeah, woo, what about me? I'm available or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then she totally like snapped on him, and she said, shut the fuck up. A woman is here speaking. When a woman is speaking, you don't talk like that. I'm a woman speaking. And then the crowd, and I was just like, wow, that was so, for me, it was like unlikable and a turnoff. I didn't like it at all. I was like, nah, man. Yeah. The guy wasn't even heckling her. He was. Yeah.
And then she turned on him. Sometimes that can pay off because it's something so unexpected.
Yeah.
But other times you can just totally lose everybody, and then it's so hard to get people back. Do you ever find that where you you lose your audience because it's something that you thought maybe they took it the wrong way or something?
Yeah,
and
like
then
Michael Richards, Kramer.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It was like, I'm going to be so crazy that it'll turn the room around. No, Michael. No.
That
but here's
does
what I'm
not
going to tell you. So I watched on Instagram that lady. She's like, "Hey, shut up!" She lashed at the guy, and I'm like, if you really listen, he wasn't heckling you. He was just like, yeah. However, here's what happened. Then I go to the shower, and I had like this Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin playlist from a live concert.
Yeah.
And guess what? This lady was interrupting Dean Martin, but guess what he did? He was so likable, and that's what I'm saying. Implement. Remember, you're entertaining them. They like you. You want them to like, and that's the way I take it. So this lady was like, Dino. And he was like, lady, come on, lady. It's not your turn to talk yet, lady. He's like, it'll be my turn and then your turn. My turn and then your turn. But it's not your turn, honey. Like, it was so likable. And then he starts singing, and then she like said something like she yelled out again, and then she's like, come to my house. And he's like, lady, your husband is not gonna like it. I come to your house. Like, you know what I mean? It was and I was like, that's what I'm talking about. That's if I were to give a comedian thing, it's just keep being, they're not your enemy. The audience is not your enemy, and it can seem like that, like when you're playing like a lot of crappy rooms, and you're like, F these people, but no, it's not that. They're not your enemy. They want you to succeed. They want to like you, and they want to laugh, and they're rooting for you.
That makes so much sense because and it takes a long time to kind of learn that, because sometimes we take things wrong when we're on the stage, like somebody's looking at their phone, maybe there's something really important that came up. Maybe they're, something medical emergency or something, or maybe they have a problem with that or something, you know what I mean? Or maybe they're taking notes. I don't know. Maybe they're stealing your material.
Yeah, maybe they're thinking about their laundry, or maybe they're thinking about whatever.
Yeah. Like, you don't know what's going on with them. And a lot of times, go ahead.
I was going to say, I was in Cleveland, and I remember like there was it was sort of an urban turnout that night, like a lot of black people, and there was like these two black ladies, these two black guys, and the guys had toothpicks, and they were just like staring at me, not laughing.
Yeah.
And it'd be really easy to get in your head being like, these guys hate me. But then I thought logically, no, they're in the front row. They're having a good time. They're here. And their ladies were laughing. And sure enough, at the end of the night, they just didn't show emotion like I wanted them to, you know, and you realize like you just can't focus on that. Focus on the people laughing and realize like other people show laughter different, you know.
You know where I really learned that is in the open mics, because there's a bunch of comedians sitting there and comedians, they don't laugh generally and they're thinking about their set and all that stuff. And sometimes they seem sort of hostile. But the fact in that particular case, you get to see them come up on stage and then you get to see how they are. And they're completely different than you think they are just a lot of times. You know, you think they hated it and they get up there and go, that was really funny what Joel said about this. You know what I mean? Like it's a totally different thing. So some people have resting angry face. Oh.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, it's been so great having you on the show, Darren. I just really appreciate you taking the time and sitting in your hot car and beatboxing with us.
I'm beatboxing in a hot box. Oh, yeah.
And please come back on the show anytime. And anybody,
Absolutely.
Where can people find out what you're doing? Besides
my main
Instagram,
thing,
I guess Instagram?
Yeah, go to my Instagram because I put the links in the... I'll be in Covina at the Laugh Factory June 2nd. Cool. I don't know when it's theirs, but I'll be there June 2nd.
Yeah.
Sunday, 7 p.m., June 2nd. It's a brand new comedy club. It used to be a theater. They put in like $1 million worth of renovations. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's beautiful. Covina Laugh Factory. And I'm coming to Dallas in July and a lot of other dates. But the Laugh Factory in Covina is the one I'm really looking forward to.
Okay, and everybody, I'll put links in the show notes, but also,
thank you.
You're very easy to find. Darren Carter, the Party Starter. If anybody is out there Googling, that's what's great about Darren is he's got his marketing down, and it's all very entertaining. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the Instagram is official Darren Carter, and I try to put stuff up in the stories every day, and those reels have really taken off. So you know what? I give you guys some advice. If you ever want your stuff to take off on Instagram, somebody told me try to keep it all one thing for like 30 days. You could put other things in your stories, but for me, I was like,
good idea.
When it wasn't working, when I only had like 9,000 followers or whatever, and I was like trying to get 10,000 just so I could have that link. You could swipe up and click the link, and I just couldn't get 10,000. So here's what I used to do, like a stand-up clip, and then like 4 days later, I'd show a picture, then maybe like a picture, like, oh, look at this cool eagle flying or whatever. Yeah. And then, but no, when I try to make it only, stand up, only stand up for the most part, maybe a sketch, but mostly stand up. And that's when things really took off, man. And as somebody said, I saw this YouTube tutorial. They go, if your videos, he was talking about YouTube, but he goes, if it's 8 minutes, if you can cut it down to 4 minutes, and then if you can make it from 4 to 3, do that. And so I really tried to, if you look at especially my more recent Instagram reels, you'll see it usually pops pretty fast. You know, it's just like,
I love
boom,
it.
boom, boom.
I love it. And you get a real good idea of who you are from anything that you click on, in your recent Instagram. And I think that's really super important. And also don't be so covetous about every little joke, because you can write more. That's kind of your job, right?
Yeah. And somebody said this to me years ago, and it said, flood the internet. So just flood the internet, and like this, you could do little clips, you got your podcast, and you're just going to flood the internet. And then,
Yeah, it works great. I mean,
thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And I really appreciate you, and have a great day. And I'm speaking on behalf of the hummingbirds in the chat room and the people that see this in the future. Just you're a fantastic performer, and thanks for being so generous.
Thank you. And thank you. Shout out to Chuck Gold, man. I appreciate
Chuck Goldsmith.
I think it's Goldsmith. Yeah, Chuck. He's great. Chuck, he leaves comments. He helps out that algorithm. He leaves comments on all my stuff. My son, Asta Bass Boss's stuff. And
oh, cool.
Man, he's really cool. And I've seen him
Chuck
at the Comedy Store.
Chuck has been a great supporter of comedy. There he is right there.
There he is. Hey, Chuck, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's fantastic.
Thank you, Chuck.
Love Chuck. And he's also a budding comedian in himself. He's been up at the Laugh Factory and at the Comedy Store checking it out. So it's cool.
Chuck's
all right.
Awesome. Yeah.
We'll see you later, Darren. Have a great day.
Thank you, Joel. I'll come back anytime, man. Thank you very much.
Sounds good.
Okay. You got it. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. All right, I'm going to dance this out on my own. That was really a freaking great interview with Darren Carter there. Please pass this around to your comedian buddies and your non-comedian buddies. Thanks for coming by, Darren. Yeah, so a lot of times these, because it's a live show, a lot of times the life that happens beyond the live show can be much more than what we get, as far as the viewership during the show. So please pass it around. Please, to those people that watch the show that don't watch it live, this is a shout out to you. Non-live dead hummingbirds? No, that's not good. Non-live viewers. And we'll see if we can slice and dice some of this stuff up for those people that just watch shorts. Thanks, Chuck. Chuck got a great shout out there. That was cool. We like it when the hummingbirds get recognized, because this show doesn't happen without hummingbirds. All right, so hardest working comic out there. Yeah. All right, let's do this thing dance break time. I got the Rumpus Machine from New Zealand. They're just kids. They're brothers and sisters rocking out. Dire Straits. These kids are amazing. I don't even need to tell you. Brothers and sisters in New Zealand. Rumpus Machine.
You get a shiver in the dark. It's raining in the park. In the meantime, south of the river, it's up in your road. Everything. The band is blowing Dixie. Double boss time. Feel alright when you hear the music ring. Well, now you step inside, but you don't see too many faces coming in out of the rain. They just go down. The competition in other places.
All right, thanks everybody for being here. We'll see you next Tuesday for more lunch therapy.
Way on down south. Way on down south.